Hello, insomniacs, fellow night owls, or maybe you're an overnight driver, maybe security somewhere, or at the plant. Anyone pulling the graveyard. Welcome to the night shift. Hello, listeners and or watchers. Welcome back, or welcome to the Night Shift Volumes, where I read stories from a Reddit thread that asks, what's the creepiest thing that's happened on the graveyard shift on Mother's Day? So if you're ready, let's begin. This first one is submitted by HH2M, and they state, on Mother's Day, the hospital was quiet except for the occasional shuffle of nurses. Sarah, the night shift nurse, entered the nursery to check on the sleeping babies. But as she glanced into each crib, she noticed something unsettling. All the babies were gone, replaced with wilted flowers and a chilling note that read, "Happy Mother's Day to those who never got to hold their babies." Next up is submitted by 5150VH. Working the graveyard shift at the call center on Mother's Day, Jane received a call from a distraught woman begging for help. She claimed her child had disappeared in the night. Jane tried to console her, promising assistance, but the call abruptly ended with a blood-curdling scream. When Jane traced the call, it led to an abandoned house, its windows reflecting the moon eerily. Inside, she found an old phone off the hook, its receiver covered in dried blood, but no sign of a caller. Next up, number 3, submitted by How They Hangin'. Thanks for asking. He states, as a security guard, Mike patrolled the deserted office building on Mother's Day. He noticed a flicker of movement in the dimly lit corridors. Following the sound of weeping, he stumbled upon a forgotten corner where an old photograph lay face down. Well, curiosity got the better of him, and he turned it over. Staring back at him was a woman, her eyes hollow with grief, and suddenly he felt a cold hand on his shoulder, and a voice whispered, "I never left." Next up, username Site115 states, working the night shift at the gift shop, I noticed something peculiar about the antique dolls on display for Mother's Day. Their eyes seemed to follow me every move, and their smiles twisted into sinister grins as the hours passed. When I tried to leave, the door slammed shut, trapping me inside. The dolls started to whisper. Their voices echoed through the empty shop. "Happy Mother's Day, Emily. We've been waiting for you." And lastly, submitted by Not Tammy. As a cemetery caretaker, Tom patrolled the grounds on Mother's Day. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The moon cast eerie shadows over the tombstones, and their air was thick with an otherworldly presence. Suddenly, he heard a soft lullaby drifting through the night air, coming from a freshly dug grave. Trembling, he approached and peered inside, only to find an empty coffin adorned with wilted roses and a faded photograph of a woman cradling a newborn. And that's it for Volume 15 of The Night Shift. I thank you for watching and or listening, and you have a great night at work.